Good morning, kids. Today we're checking out a brand new video from the Foodies about how Gordon Ramsay is not a master chef. Okay, Matt Pat, let's see what you're cooking up today.
Today we're dousing the flames of the world's most fiery celebrity chef, Gordon Ramsay. This week marks the return of his hit series,
Hold on, toning the volume down just a bit.
Kitchen Nightmares, where Chef Ramsay does his best to train, inspire, and rehabilitate failing restaurants. Except, there's one problem with the
Isn't it also the one where he just, is like cussing at people? Or am I thinking of another one?
Formula, Chef Ramsay himself. You see, when you crunch the numbers, Ramsay's track record, it's not that great. And I'm not talking about the restaurants on his show, I'm talking about the ones that he opens that bear his name in real life. Gordon Ramsay, more like Gordon Shamsay, nailed it.
And stretch and a half.
Hello, Internet.
So I'll give you a clap and a half.
Food Theory, the channel that knows how to properly cook a scallop. If the intro didn't make it clear enough to you, today we're talking about the king of the censor, the sultan of the swear, the Michelin star maestro himself, Chef Gordon Ramsay. You know, the guy that just goes around calling everyone an idiot sandwich.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Fun fact, by the way, that iconic
And
idiot sandwich clip isn't actually from one of his shows. It was from a late-night skit that was parodying his shows. So reality ain't that far off.
Is there anything today that I ate that wasn't microwaved?
Oh, freaking...
You f***ing donut.
You
Look
fucking
at this.
donut.
I swear to God, it's the kind of you'd expect Tiger Woods to tee off with. Look at it. Rubber, rubber, rubber! If
Rubber,
you saute
rubber.
scallops in a non-stick pan, they won't stick. That's why it's called
Non-stick!
Say
Yeah!
if someone set up a swear jar at the Ramsay household, they'd be making millions. Anyway, when it comes to celebrity chefs, there aren't many people bigger than the good old Gordo. He's earned himself an astounding 17 Michelin stars over the course of his career, and his colorful language has spawned a TV empire that's brought us hits like Hell's Kitchen, Masterchef, and the F Word. And I'm not censoring that is just the name of the show. And most of these are still going strong. Masterchef
yeah, because the F looks like a knife. No, I get that.
on its 13th season. Hell's Kitchen is gearing up for number 22, and his newest one, Next Level Chef, just got renewed for 2 more seasons. And the entire concept of that is chefs in elevators. Really? Traditional TV, this is what you're okaying at this point? All I want is a game show. But of all the shows, the one that's always been nearest and dearest to my heart is Kitchen Nightmares. See, instead of screaming and yelling at semi-professional chefs for the lamb sauce,
where's the lamb sauce?
Kitchen Nightmares is Ramsay visiting struggling restaurants in the hopes that he can turn them around, all while screaming and yelling.
You stuck up precious little.
I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about the whole... Was there anything today I ate that was not microwaved? The salad. You fucking donut, of course you don't microwave a salad! Oh god, I gotta sit down with my mom and watch this. We'd be laughing our asses off.
Like a lot of great shows, it originally started off as a British series, quickly became a hit, and then it got its own American spin-off with just a few simple changes. See if you can spot the difference.
More
Richard's
sweating.
got a lot on his plate, so I'm staying in the kitchen to help him.
You run a of the kitchen yourself.
No,
Okay?
no.
I know, the cultural difference is incredibly
sweating.
subtle. But now, after nearly a decade of being off the air, Kitchen Nightmares is finally coming back tomorrow for its long-awaited 8th US season.
Hell yes.
But one question still hovers over the shadow of the show. Where are the restaurants now? Does Gordon actually succeed in helping these guys in the long term? Sure, the episodes are a fun watch, but is he actually serving up any useful information for the owners and workers whose livelihoods are literally on the line? And how does Gordon's hit rate compare to the restaurant business writ large? Is he better than just random chance? So season your skillets, grab your aprons, and get the YouTube censors ready, loyal theorists, as we go mano-a-mano with one of the biggest names in food. Oh, he's gonna roast me on TikTok after this one, isn't he?
Hold on a minute. What's that stupid decoration on there? Looks like a skid mark from a granddad's underpants.
Over the course of the entire Kitchen Nightmare series, Gordon attempts to save over 100 restaurants, and they all tend to follow a very similar formula.
Honestly, that is like a goal for most people to meet. Okay, like many people have a goal of meeting someone famous and getting them to say like a signature line, like meeting Samuel L. Jackson and getting him to call you a motherfucker, meeting Gordon Ramsay and getting him to call you a fucking donkey. It's like a goal for people because it's so iconic, and it's not something to be ashamed of. It's literally something that's prideful.
Delusional owners, disgusting kitchens, and terrible food.
That's the sushi pizza.
It's rice, salmon, crab, and mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
That
Mayonnaise.
is rancid.
But despite the challenges, Chef Ramsay would come in, help retrain the staff, update the menu, and sometimes just straight up change the entire branding. So, did those remedies work? Let's start by looking at the original
God.
British run of the show. Running for 5 seasons, or series as the Brits call them, along with a couple of special episodes, Gordon Ramsay visited a total of 28 restaurants. So now, nearly 2 decades after the British show ended, let's play a little guessing game. How many of those 28 do you think should still be open for you to consider it a success for Gordon? Half? A quarter? Well, whatever you guessed, you're probably wrong. Only 5 of the 28 restaurants that Gordon visited in the original British version of the show are still open today. In fact, a whopping 59% of, quote, saved locations closed within a year of their episode airing. Chef Ramsay did such a bad job that some permanently closed before the episode could even air. All in all, over 2/3 of the British restaurants featured on the show closed within 3 years. Of course, that's not exactly the biggest sample size. For that, we gotta go to the place where everything is bigger, the good old
America!
With the Wells Fargo...
Hold on. We're going ad. And we're back.
Inevitably, at some point in each episode, Ramsay would get into a shouting match with either the owner or the chef.
Look at the mess of this place. It's ridiculous. Someone man up.
But did any of that tough love equate to better outcomes for our American entrepreneurs? Short answer, no. Long answer, no. As it turns out, Gordon's explosive temper might have been better.
That's a stolen joke. I know who actually made that joke originally, and they made it like a couple years ago. Oh, crap, I can't remember the name now.
For ratings, but worse for business. Of the 77 restaurants that were featured on the American Kitchen Nightmares, just 13 are open today. 13! That is a shade under a 17% success rate. So, combining both versions of the show, just 18 of the 105 establishments that Gordon Ramsay tried to help are still around today. Honestly, that seems like a pretty terrible record, especially talking about a guy who's made over $500 million by opening his own restaurants. But I also get it. These are literally the worst of the worst restaurants out there. They were already on their last leg long before Chef Ramsay ever decided to step in, hence the whole nightmare part of the title. I mean, it wasn't called Gordon Ramsay's Kitchens, who are just a few tweaks away from success. Then again, as it turns out, Gordon might not be the right guy for the job, because his numbers, yeah, they're not that great either. As of the recording of this episode, a whopping 4 of Chef Ramsay's restaurants have Michelin stars. His flagship restaurant, Restaurant Gordon Ramsay, is one of only 8 3-Michelin star restaurants in all of the UK and Ireland. There are only 2 chefs in history that have earned more Michelin stars in their career than Ramsay. However, these top-tier restaurants are only a small part of the Gordon Ramsay empire. For every restaurant Gordon Ramsay, there's about 10 Gordon Ramsay street burgers opening in a 5-yard span. So, knowing all of that, I wanted to really dig down and find out if Chef Ramsay was truly more successful at keeping restaurants open than your typical small restaurateur that he berates as a part of his show. And boy, let me tell ya, it was actually a fairly easy calculation. You see, Gordon Ramsay has been busy over the past couple years. His roster of restaurants is enormous. According to Wikipedia, Gordon Ramsay has owned or operated 132 different restaurants in the course of his career. In the last 5 years alone, he's opened 67. There's even 8 more that are set to open before the year's end. Now, I did my best to try and get the most accurate data possible. Also, to give the most fair assessment, I removed every restaurant from our list that opened in the last 2 years, since the jury's still out on whether they're going to be able to make it or not. There's also the big viral-shaped elephant in the room, the pandemic. During COVID, anywhere between 70 and 90,000 restaurants shut their doors. As a result, I think it's unfair to judge Chef Ramsay on how his businesses held up against a once-in-a-lifetime global health crisis. So, I got those out of the list as well. All in all, that left me with 83 Ramsay restaurants potentially ready to review. And what I found out about his track record ended up being super interesting. First, I learned that there actually isn't a lot of consensus among researchers about how often restaurants fail. The range of results that I found were insane. On the low end, some research says that around 17% of restaurants close within their first year of operation. On the other end of the spectrum, one American Express commercial cited that number as closer to 90%. Yeah, really couldn't be further apart. However, the NRA, absolutely not the one that you're probably thinking of, the National Restaurant Association, recognizes a failure rate of about
now that's kind of going to be an issue, because you got National Rifle Association and National Restaurant Association. One of them needs to change. So why don't you become the NGA, the National Gun Association?
30% to be the
Oh,
norm
wait,
in the
does that
restaurant
already
industry.
exist?
Since they're industry standard
Meh.
and it was kind of in the middle, I decided to go with that one. And you know what? Compared to that number, Gordon comes out looking great. Just 9% of Gordon's real-world establishments close within their first year. In fact, a full third of Gordon's restaurants that opened prior to 2013 are still kicking after a decade. In the end, 44% of the
Nice.
restaurants we looked into are still pumping out dishes as we speak. So yeah, while not every one of his locations are winners, especially the chains that he's opened more recently, Chef Ramsay far exceeds your average restaurateur. I mean, shouldn't be all that surprising. He has an entire marketing team behind him and decades of
No
experience,
doubt about
but
that.
hey, now at least we have the numbers to prove it. So he's better than your local mom and pop. But now let's have Gordon pick on someone his own size. Let's measure the likes of Gordon Ramsay against other celebrity chefs to see if Gordon can stand the heat in his own kitchen, starting with his old rival, a culinary clash between Gordon Ramsay and Bobby Flay. Since we've already pitted them against each other in a previous episode, it's only right that we start this one with a rematch. Today, Flay may not be as much of a mainstay as Chef Ramsay, but there was a point in time when Bobby was the king of the celebrity chef world. So, how good is Bobby Flay at keeping the doors to his restaurants open? Well, he's actually better than Gordon. Much better, in fact. Of Bobby Flay's 13 restaurants that opened pre-2022 and didn't close because of COVID, how many of them are still open? A respectable 53%. That said, we're obviously working at different scales here. 13 versus Ramsay's 80. So, is there anyone else who's closer? How about someone a bit more homey, a bit more accessible to us everymen? Fire up your grills because the mayor of Flavortown has just arrived.
Guy Fieri
has entered Hell's Kitchen. If you're looking for a chef who holds up to the scale and personality of Gordon Ramsay, Guy is your guy. According to my list, Guy Fieri has had about 46 restaurants tied to his name over...
Hey, actually speaking about him, did y'all ever see that episode of American Dad where it actually turned out that Guy Fieri is just some kind of continuous glutton demon and that's always looking for a new host to have new flavors with? If you remember that episode, let me know what you think about that. Like, did you think it was good, or did y'all think it was kind of shite? I think it was actually pretty damn good, because we got to see a bit more of Jeff and Stan's interaction.
His 2-decade-long career. How many are still cooking up flavors today? A jaw-dropping, frost your tips 78%. Fieri is not just beating the likes of Flay and Ramsay, he is lapping them. Pretty darn impressive for a guy who just rolls around in his bowling shirt. But does a plate of trash can nachos really compete with what you get at a Ramsay restaurant, like this lobster ravioli? I mean, look at these dishes. One is elegant, balanced, artistic in its presentation, and the other looks exactly like what you'd expect from a guy in his mid-50s with frosted tips and a goatee. Between Flay and Fieri, they have themselves a collective 1 Michelin star. And Flay ended up losing that star after having it for only a year. I mean, that's not to say that Michelin stars are the be-all, end-all. We've talked about that before on this channel. But when it comes to what the greatest food critics in the world are looking for, Ramsay knows how to deliver that better than anyone else. So, if we're truly looking to make the most accurate comparison possible, there is one chef who can look Ramsay in the eye and spit on his Michelin star. The only man alive today who's earned more Michelin stars in his career than Gordon. Allow me to introduce you to the French culinary genius Alain Ducasse. Boasting an incredible 21 Michelin stars, 4 more than Gordon, and the only person in the ballpark in terms of number of restaurants under his domain. If anyone would be the ultimate final boss for this culinary clash, it's Ducasse. So, the big question, how's his success rate? Well, after looking through every Ducasse delicatessen that's ever existed, the percentage of his restaurants still open for business today is 59%. Way more than Gordon's measly 44. And according to the Michelin Guide,
it's
even better in terms of quality. So there you have it, folks. Gordon Ramsay, all brand, no bite. When you stack him up against other celebrity chefs, Gordon is good, but not great. Is how I'd end this episode if I was being disingenuous. Opening up over 100 restaurants, being able to keep nearly 50% of those open for an extended period of time, and then maintaining a high level of quality across all of them, that is a nearly impossible feat. What Gordon Ramsay has been able to do and build is just incredible. And while he's garnered this reputation as a short-tempered, arrogant, stuck-up blowhard, the Ramsay that you see on TV is just a character. If you've spoken with people who've actually worked closely with him, or you just
the real Gordon Ramsay is actually a very chill man. And, like, he's chill as could be. The one we know that goes, "You fucking donkey, you damn donut. What are you? An idiot sandwich." That's just his TV persona. Well, that's how it always is.
Watch some of his more recent, less fiery programming, you see he's just a guy who loves cooking and is passionate about sharing that with others.
It's easy to cook on TV. There's talented producers, there's editors, and
there's
all sorts of things that make you look good.
No, I was wrong.
Before any TV came anywhere near my career, I'd mastered my craft.
Gordon Ramsay didn't get to where he was just by screaming in front of a camera. He got there through practice and experience.
It's as if all he knows is fine dining and breathing.
Even though
That's
there
correct.
might be a couple out there who are better in the numbers, nothing can truly take away his pure mastery of the craft. If only he could figure out how to make a proper grilled cheese sandwich.
Aramana with pepperberry and Asiago. And the secret behind this grilled cheese is a little bit of kimchi.
Yeah, I think I'll be
Kimchi?
sticking to my Kraft cheese squares and store brand white bread. Who's the idiot sandwich now there, Gordo? But hey,
I guess
that's
he's right.
just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.
Well, folks, that's going to be the end of today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below. So remember to support the original creator and all they do. And I'll see you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.